This week on Dear Rabbi. As we struggle with the new reality of a post-COVID world, how do we make sense of God's role in all of this? Why would He want us to suffer like this? That is such a good question that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher, asked God the very same thing. He wanted to know, why do bad things happen to good people? And why do we see good things happening to bad people? And God answered very simply, you cannot know the answer to that question and live. As a human being, you are incapable of understanding the ways of God. Now think about it for a second. Imagine you had a long-lost cousin who lived in a jungle in Africa and wasn't aware of any of the things that we would consider normal parts of our society. And this cousin comes to visit you, and he wants to follow you around and just see what life is like in a Western country. You're a very healthy individual and you start off every day at the gym. So you take him with you, and before you get in, you can see through a little part of the window people working out. And he looks through this crack and he sees this person who's sweating profusely and grimacing. And he asks you, why are you taking me to this place where people are being tortured? I don't want to go see some sort of torture chamber. And you explain to him, no. This is a gym. People actually pay for the opportunity to go here and work out. And yes, it's very difficult and you might be sweating and making these faces, but people actually enjoy it. Your long-lost cousin will think that you are absolutely crazy. Now, you might be crazy, but not because of this. He's looking at it through a tiny little hole, a little piece of reality. We live on this earth for a very short amount of time. 60 years, 80 years, 100 years. Even if you live to 120. To think in 120 years, you can see and experience enough to understand the ways of God is just immature. It's silly. Especially when you consider the fact that as Jews we believe in reincarnation. That means your soul has been here multiple times. You have no idea what it is that you came back here to fix. So we look at an experience and we say, oh, that's bad, that's good. But the truth is, we have no idea. I'll never forget when my oldest son Ozzy was 1 year old. He was having several bouts of pneumonia and he had to go in for a chest x-ray. Now with a child, you can't just stand them up and take the x-ray. You have to lay them down on a table, and every time they move, you need to start the whole process over again. So the doctor instructed me to lay him on this table, pin him down, and make sure he can't move. And I'll never forget the look on his face. As I'm looking down and watching him look up at me, he can't talk yet. But with his eyes, he is yelling, Daddy, why are you doing this to me? I thought you loved me. I thought you were caring for me. Why would you let these people cause me so much pain? Why would you yourself be pushing down on me and not letting me move? As a parent, we often do things that our children don't understand. And we say, when you're older, you'll understand. When you're older, you'll thank me. As human beings, things happen in our lives, things that are challenging and difficult. And oftentimes, it's exactly those moments that define us as human beings. I live life in this very small space. It's like a person looking at a painting with their nose against the canvas. All you see is blurred colors. When I take the step back and I really begin to process what I'm looking at, then I can begin to see more of the picture. But in our lives, we just can't step far enough back sometimes, and therefore we don't see the true picture. But we have faith and we believe that ultimately it's part of God's plan. All things are good in the end. If it's not good, it's simply not the end. Are you a wandering Jew? Is there something you want to know about Judaism? Click here to submit your own question that we can feature here on Dear Rabbi.